What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Tier, and today we talk about a very real and very deep topic for myself. And honestly, it's probably the last video that I record without an actual camera. I'm gonna start recording my videos pretty soon using my new camcorder and some other equipment. So the videos will definitely be better from here on then. But today I talk about a very serious topic in my life, which is my struggle with anxiety and also panic attacks and just overall social interactions. Or as a child, I was very reserved and very to myself. At first, I just thought that's how all kids are. They're a little shy. That's what my parents thought as well. But just being in front of people, just being around people, it makes me very anxious and very scared and very difficult for me to interact and talk. But I always had dreams of being, present, so I knew I have to get over my supposed shyness. It wasn't until high school I realized that it wasn't just the typical shyness. I was very anxious all the time. There was times where it was difficult for me to just talk to people that I knew. It was very hard to have interactions with people. I had there'd be days where I'd be terrified, just shaking, I would just avoid interaction with people. For a very long time, especially freshman and sophomore year, the only place I found comfort was playing basketball. It was either playing basketball or reading a book. So early in the mornings, because I was so anxious to be around people and it really terrified me to talk to people. While I waited for the bus, I would sit at the edge of the bus stop and read a book early in the morning because that was the only thing that would get me through with my anxiousness. Talking to girls was a completely other thing. It was I had very anxious problems with my anxiety. It made it very difficult for me to just interact with people sometimes. And that leads me to, if you're in my previous story time, I talk about when I had my very first panic attack. Up to that point, I never dealt with panic attacks. My anxiety had never been that bad. And then after that, I began to experience night terrors as well as panic attacks sometimes when I'm in very high pressure situations. So it's very difficult for me, especially with some issues in my personal life, for me to deal with them because it's causing me extreme anxiety. And I'm anxious all the time. I don't feel comfortable around people. I really want to be off to myself, but really I want to get to how I've been trying to overcome these issues. I've been trying to find things during the situations that calm me of my anxiety, such as reading, because that always helps. So what I do sometimes is I'm really feeling really anxious that day, or I'm really on edge, I don't feel I feel super anxious, my hands are shaking, my heart's racing really bad. I'll just, sit down and read a comic. It really calms me down, really helps me relax. And sometimes something I do socially is I try to zone my attention to one person so I don't feel so anxious around so many people, because I get extremely anxious when I'm around a lot of people and I feel very uncomfortable. So ways that I try to cope with that is really just focus my attention on someone else. That really helps with my social anxiety. It really helps me feel like I'm not overcrowded or over around people. And really, the point of this video is to show you that, you know, some people, if you see me, you know, see me around school or around, you see that I really like to joke around with, you know. Sometimes I'm kind of, you know, I'm really out there sometimes, but these are issues that I deal with, you know, really personally all the time, and people don't understand that extremely an issue for me. And I think people just assume that the way I am, that I don't have these issues. You know, that's one thing I always like to talk about when it comes to issues like this. You know, people might not seem like the type of people that deal with these type of issues. They might not seem like, people might just think they're awkward, but they don't know the mental hurdles that people have to go through. I really want to stress in this video that, you know, illnesses like this or afflictions, like, you should try to find ways to cope or try to figure ways to deal with the problems that you're having. Like, I know it's difficult for a lot of people, and it's very difficult for me still to deal with my anxiety and my panic attacks and all sort of things. But sometimes you have to figure out ways to better yourself with these type of problems. And sometimes you can't judge people for having these issues, or you know, a big problem in our society is name calling and really just, you know, zoning on people who have problems like this, just blame it on you just shy and all such stuff. Sometimes these are real issues that people deal with, and people don't understand, because I think I learned about mental health is that no one, you know, when you get hurt, you know, like when I broke my ankle, you can see that energy, you can see the pain I'm going through. You know, you probably broken a bone before, but to deal with anxiety and panic attacks or depression or any other mental illness, you can't see it. So it's difficult for people to understand it and to really empathize with people who deal with these issues. So I always like to stress to people, because I deal with these issues every day. If you ever need someone to talk to or lean on to really try to understand, empathize with you, I'm always here. So if you would, please shoot a comment, you know, telling me ways that you try to cope with mental hurdles in your life. Also, feel free to always message me either in my inbox on YouTube or in my page dedicated to my YouTube channel, for my YouTube channel, King, on Instagram at KingTide21. So if you ever just want someone to talk to or really reach out to you, please do so. And I really appreciate if you guys could like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, drop a comment below talking about, you know, if you like these type of videos or not, or if you want to hear other videos about this, or dealing with my typical, you know, story times. And I know I've stressed this before with the dedication uploads. It's just right now I'm about to graduate from college, so I'll be really busy with, you know, papers and all that sort of stuff. But during the summer, I will really be on the grind, really pumping out content for you guys, and really showing you, you know, a window into just an ordinary person's life. And, you know, just, I deal with my day-to-day issues and all the other stuff. And, you know, always some gaming too, you feel me? And also, I will start, sooner or later, if you guys would like, I'm going to be starting a review of anime on a second channel, where I do reviews on new shows out, new shows on anime, video games, comics, where I'll be reviewing, you know, new things in that field. And, you know, my typical gaming and vlogs and story times and personal advice will be here. I'll have a separate channel just for reviews and all that sort of stuff. It'll probably be called Reviews with King Tier. Will be coming soon. I'll be dropping a link on my Instagram and in the soon coming up YouTube video. So check out for that. And once again, my friends, welcome to you know, King Tier, because you do it big. And this is King Tier signing out.